Good afternoon, YouTube, and how do you do your Dunkaroos? I don't know why I said that. It's a commercial from when I was a kid about those Dunkaroo cookies and you dunk them and stuff. And it popped in my head recently, and I can't get it out. Anyways, you'll notice the lighting is a little darker today. I've always watched my videos afterwards on my phone, and they looked okay enough. But then when I watched them on a computer at work the other day, I was like, oh, they're actually really cloudy and dark and fuzzy. The problem is I don't have anywhere really I can do these videos where I have perfect lighting and stuff. So today I went with a little less overhead lighting, opened the window as much as I could, and I'm not sure if it's going to be any better, but we'll see. I'll keep on tinkering until I can come up with something. Anyways, I didn't realize, again, I got behind on stuff, and I realized I've done a lot of stuff lately. So we'll get right into it, and we'll start with the video games. As you've heard in the last couple videos that I've reviewed stuff, you know that me and my son are on a big Mega Man kick right now. The most recent games that fell, the one we were playing together was Mega Man 5, which was originally for the NES, which we have downloaded on the Wii. The story behind Mega Man 5, it's a little different. It's the same sort of format, but a little different story. At the start of the game, it appears as though Proto Man, who is Mega Man's brother and an ally in past games, kidnaps Dr. Light and sicks some robot masters on society and appears to be the villain in this game. So you have to go after Dr. Light and battle through these robots on your way to Proto Man. Let's see if I can remember the robot masters in this game. There's Charge Man, Crystal Man, Gyro Man, Gravity Man, Napalm Man, Stone Man, Wave Man, and then there's one more that starts with S, and of course I'm gonna get there, but almost not. I can't remember. Anyways, there's one more. You as usual, you beat through those 8 bosses, gain their weapons, and then you move on to the next phase, which in this case is Proto Man's castle, and you bust through his 4 stages of his castle, and then you find out that, oh, Proto Man was actually a robot of Dr. Wily's, an imposter called Dark Man, and he was impersonating Proto Man. So then you have to go on to Wily's castle, beat Dark Man, and beat Dr. Wily, and beat the game. Again, a total 10, as all Mega Man games are. I've never played a bad Mega Man game. Capcom, I think that's their flagship enterprise. Not that they're lacking for good games. Almost every game they do is good, but to me, Mega Man is the pinnacle of not only Capcom's video games, but just gaming in general. The other Mega Man game was a game I played on my own because it was a download to my 3DS called Mega Man Xtreme. It was a game that was originally released on the GameBoy Color, and it takes place in between a couple of the starting games in the Mega Man X series. So it takes place in the year 21 something, where humans and machines live together in harmony, and the machines are known as Reploids. But every once in a while, it's not uncommon for some Reploids to go bad, and they're called Mavericks. A couple of robots from the past, Mega Man X and Mega Man Zero, are the ones that bring these Reploids, these Maverick Reploids, to justice. And it's a time of relative peace, but then all of a sudden a bunch of Reploids go haywire, and they find out that somebody has hacked the mother computer and caused this problem. So it's not a direct physical solution they can confront. Mega Man X actually has to become digitized and go inside the mother computer and battle his enemies within the computer. So in this game, there's only 4 bosses. There's Chill Penguin, Spark Mandrill, Storm Eagle, and Flame Stag. And once you beat those guys, then you move on to the last levels where you confront the boss of the game, who is known as Sigma. Now, that's not really the full gist of the game. Once you beat that part of the game, hard mode can become available, where you battle a bunch of other bosses as well and do the game over again, but only harder. And the first game is hard to begin with, so I tried it, and it was like, nope. I'm comfortable with beating it on easy mode, I guess is what it's called. That was good enough for me. So, really good game. Short. I'm sure if you were good enough to complete it on hard, it would seem like a much more fleshed out game, but because I can't, not that I can't, just that I'm not sure how much frustration and time I have in me to put towards hard mode on that game. But good game. It looks just like the X games on the whatever system they were originally released for. I've got on the PS2 as a collection, but I don't know what they were originally on. So, but Mega Man X is a great series, just as good as the original, as far as I'm concerned. So this game was just another easy add to the collection. The next game I completed, sort of, was called Rogue Aces on the PS4, which was actually one of the PlayStation Plus's free games for a couple months back. It's a really simple game, and you take control of a fighter plane in some past World War, and you start out on an aircraft carrier, and you take off, and you're tasked with all of these objectives. And once you complete your objective, you come back to the aircraft carrier, resupply, repair, and you can return there at any point too to repair if you need to, or fill up on your weapons. And you just go from island to island, and there's objectives you have to complete. Usually you have to destroy a certain amount of certain objects, whether it's enemy troops or tanks or trucks, buildings, aircraft, water, like boats and ships and stuff. And then if you can make it from island to island and then get to the main island of your enemy and beat the main boss, then you've won the game. And there's a few other, that's the frontline campaign mode, and then there's a regular campaign mode, which I think just goes on forever and ever. I never found an end to it. And then there's veteran campaign mode, which is like the harder version of the frontline. And then there's some other like survival modes, some other game modes as well. But the gameplay is super easy. The graphics are like really neat but simple. Like I said, it's a very simple game, but it's addictive. They did everything perfectly on it, and it just reels you right in. So I had a lot of fun playing that. I highly recommend downloading it or purchasing it somehow if I'm sure it's cheap, but it's well worth the price if you want to go for it. Next game I completed. All those were downloads, so I don't have any physical cases. But the next one was this Aqua Moto Racing Utopia for the Nintendo Switch. My main complaint about the Switch is that they just don't have a big game library so far. And a lot of the games are like Mario games or whatever, which always hold their price. They never seem to go down, so they're always $80. So when I found this at Walmart for $19.99, I was like, I don't care how crappy it is, I'm going to buy it. So it's just a jet ski game. There's the main mode is championship mode, where you race in circuits, gain points for each of your placings in each race, and at the end, whoever has the most points after the circuit's over, that determines your final placing, how much money you win, yada yada. There's 3 different divisions you can race in. There's the ski division, which is the jet ski craft that you stand up on. And then there's the runabout division, which are the kind of the regular jet skis that you sit on, the bigger ones. And then there's the freestyle division, where it's just it's not races, it's just you're doing tricks and going off jumps to get points and try and win in that fashion. The game itself, it looks great. Like, the graphics are really good. But it's just kind of missing something. I don't know what it is. There just didn't seem to be something to strive for or something to keep you fully engaged in it. It was just kind of, it was good, but